A Calgary couple attacked in their home. The scary scene putting a spotlight on the dangers of buying and selling over social media.
What surprised me the most is when they re-entered my home the second time.
Plus, the province is taking a closer look at city bike lanes.
Is it a review based on ideology? And that is something that I don't think would be helpful to anybody.
Let's see who's using them before we build more.
But it's cyclists that think the government should stay in its own lane. And a battle of the bucks.
Oh, he's got them.
Some Southwest residents get ringside seats after a pair of stags lock antlers.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Terry Fikowski.
Good evening. A Calgary couple says they felt like they were fighting for their lives during a violent attempted robbery in their home. The disturbing incident was caught on home security cameras, and as Kevin Green tells us, police are investigating to see if it's related to other similar robberies in Calgary.
Saturday afternoon, Jason Nguyen was trying to sell a laptop. He let a pair of prospective buyers into his Dover home to test it. Seconds later, a can of bear spray was unleashed in his face.
The moment that I turned towards the laptop, that's when I was hit with the bear spray. They sprayed all across my face, towards the eye, and at that point, I'm just acting reactively. For me, the safety of my wife is priority.
His wife, Nan Au, heard the commotion and ran out of their bedroom. By then, Nguyen was being pulled out the front door.
I see he's being dragged outside, and in front of our house we have the shovel, so I just grabbed the shovel and kick in the individual that hurting my husband and to let him let go.
As Al kept swinging the shovel, one of the men broke away and ran down the steps, then turned and began kicking Nguyen in the ribs.
I'm really scared. I'm mostly scaring for our life.
But the assailants weren't finished yet. After kicking Nguyen in the front yard, one of them ran back into the house.
So he dropped his phone. So he came in and he picked up his phone. At that point, I still didn't know why he was re-entering our home, right? And so I started attacking him.
The attackers never did get the laptop, but the assault left the family home's walls stained with bear spray residue and Nguyen's arms and legs covered in bruises. The Calgary Police Service says it is investigating whether this attack is connected to other online sale robberies in the city.
And do we have people out there doing this on the regular? Regrettably, yes, we do. Do we know this is tied to one of those things? We don't know that yet, but we'll certainly be looking into that.
The Better Business Bureau says incidents like this underscore the risk of letting strangers into your home to complete a transaction.
Don't meet without at least one other person. When you go somewhere, make sure it's a busy public spot, and you know that will go a long ways to ensuring your safety.
Both police and the BBB say one of the safest places to complete an online sale is in the parking lot of a police station, but even then they advise doing it in daylight for maximum safety. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Police are asking residents in South Dover to check doorbell and dash cam video from Saturday afternoon, and anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Meantime, police in Lethbridge have charged a 21-year-old man with the attempted murder of his twin brother. Police say a 21-year-old man was stabbed multiple times Saturday night at a home along Lake Mount Boulevard South. The victim's twin brother was arrested and a knife was seized on scene. Bailey Minus of Cardston is charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and assault with a weapon. His brother has since been released from hospital. And Calgary police have charged 2 men and 3 women for allegedly defrauding a Southeast casino. According to CPS, management at Deerfoot Casino contacted them after becoming suspicious of 2 employees who'd allegedly given illegitimate winnings to patrons. It's believed to have happened several times during various card games. The accused, between 48 and 57 years old, are each charged with fraud over $5,000. The Alberta government is renewing its talks with the city about pumping the brakes on bike lanes. The province is considering legislation to ensure bike lanes aren't impacting road capacity in Calgary and in Edmonton. With more, here's Jordan Canagan.
Despite the slush and snow, cyclists roll through Calgary's bike lanes, but future cycling infrastructure could be stalled.
Well, I think there's a good case to be made that we should do a pause and a review on bike lanes. Let's see who's using them.
The province is looking at legislation that could scale back the amount of bike lanes. In a statement, the transportation minister is saying Alberta's government supports well-planned bike lanes when they are properly integrated and don't compromise road capacity. That's why I asked the city to provide a vehicle traffic impact assessment on the effect of bike lane conversions, including traffic volumes, travel times, and overall road capacity.
As a taxpayer, I'm offended that the province would waste time and money on meddling into decisions that the city is perfectly capable of managing themselves.
It's the latest push by the province to examine the use of bike lanes in Calgary's core and elsewhere.
So our council is absolutely committed to funding adequate transportation options for absolutely every single Calgarian. So that includes commuting by car, it includes active modes like walking or cycling, as well as transit.
City data shows hundreds of riders each day are tracked using bike lanes downtown, even in the colder months. And cyclists say the lanes shouldn't be looked at as a problem.
Putting bike lanes in where it's been done carefully and properly can be part of the solution in terms of avoiding congestion.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
The mayor and transportation minister say they're both open to collaborating on the issue, but no date has been set up for a formal meeting about bike lanes. The Alberta Medical Association is weighing in on new measures introduced by the federal government aimed at making it easier for international doctors to achieve permanent residency here in Canada. The Canadian Medical Association says around 13,000 internationally trained physicians aren't working in their field. As part of the plan, Ottawa will create a new express entry category for international doctors with at least 1 year of Canadian work experience in an eligible occupation. The government will also reserve 5,000 federal admission spaces for provinces and territories to nominate licensed doctors with job offers starting early next year. The president of the Alberta Medical Association says it's a step in the right direction, but there's still a lot to figure out.
It's up to the college to recognize credentials and look at exactly what types of practice these folks might be able to participate in. It's up to the provinces to then, assign billing numbers and then where these individuals might work and provide service to Canadians.
The province says it welcomes this news as it aligns with their own efforts to increase the number of doctors here in Alberta. Air Transat says it's making progress with the pilots union and flights are operating as planned today. The union, representing 750 pilots at the airline, issued strike notice over the weekend. With 72 hours notice, that means the pilots will be off the job by Wednesday. Air Transat added extra flights today to bring some travelers home early. The airline says progress has been made as both sides continue to negotiate ahead of the deadline. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says a storm that rolled through 3 provinces this summer caused $235 million worth of damages. The storm hit Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba between August 20th and 21st. Southern Alberta took the brunt of it, with winds reaching 165 kilometers an hour and hailstones measuring 70 millimeters in diameter. All buildings with west-facing plastic siding suffered 50 to 100% damage. There was also heavy damage to roofs. Vehicles and crops were totally wiped out. Okay, Danielle, as it starts to feel more like winter, I've been making a goal to get out and walk once a day so you don't get too cooped up.
Right.
So I'm a little nervous for your forecast.
Yeah, so there are a number of things you and all of you need to know for tomorrow and really the rest of this week. This is a week of winter. Just one, you have to be prepared for that. For tomorrow specifically in the city, and I will say things are quite different around the city and a little more intense outside of the city, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. But for Calgary specifically, it will be windy all day with gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperatures will drop throughout the day rather than warm. And as we drop, keep in mind all the melting that happened today and the melting that will happen tonight, because it will stay mild tonight. It will freeze out there on sidewalks and roads. So it will be slippery in many spots. So that's what you'll have to contend with, especially by the afternoon hours tomorrow as we drop to -5. In the afternoon, also a wind chill of -13 at least. Your full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Danielle. A video of a fight captured on a southwest Calgary road is going viral because of who was involved. A pair of stags locked antlers in Bridlewood, and many residents got up-close seats to the scrap. Tyson Fedor has this story.
The Castellino family were on their driveway around lunchtime Saturday, and that's when they witnessed two bucks lock antlers and duke it out in the middle of the road. Between October and December, it's known as the rut, or mating season, and this can be fairly common practice between bucks if there is a female doe nearby. A third deer could be seen in the video just a little further down the road, away from the fighting stags. Now, this housing estate is a 55-plus community located along Bridal Estates Road in the southwest. It also is nearby to Sutina Trail, which has a lot of wildlife. Neighbors say there are around a dozen deer that are in the neighborhood constantly and have embraced the community. However, many say that they are hesitant to even walk their dogs because of any potential confrontations such as this. These pictures show them coming up to back doors and laying down on outside patios in people's back gardens. The video has been seen tens of thousands of times across social media. The Castellinos declined on-camera interviews with CTV News on Monday, but they did tell us they were fearful that their car would be scratched from that fight. Now, in the end, both bucks did eventually separate and head their separate ways. No one was injured. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
The Wilder Institute is asking visitors to be careful when visiting the Calgary Zoo after a penguin swallowed a coin. 13-year-old female Humboldt penguin, Juanita, developed an abnormal gait, and an X-ray revealed a foreign metal object. Penguin stomachs are highly acidic to help digest whole fish, so metal is a serious risk and can be deadly. Juanita underwent an endoscopy to remove a coin that was found. Luckily, she recovered well and was back waddling at the penguin plunge in no time. But officials are reminding visitors to keep small items like coins, hair ties, and wrappers secure. And if you see something fall into a habitat, you're asked to report it. Ends well. Well, Ottawa's pipeline agreement with Alberta takes center stage in the House of Commons this week. How the Conservatives plan to put the Prime Minister's pipeline pledge and party support to the test.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The federal Conservatives are set to introduce a non-binding motion that will require the Liberals to decide whether or not they support the construction of pipelines. The motion asks Liberal MPs if they support the construction of a pipeline that can export at least 1 million barrels a day of Alberta bitumen from a BC port to Asia markets. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says it's meant to force the Liberals to, quote, put up or shut up on whether they support a new oil pipeline to the Pacific coast. A senior government source tells CTV News that the Liberal government will vote against the motion. Pierre Poilievre is expected to introduce that motion tomorrow. Albertans can weigh in on the future of nuclear power in the province. A virtual town hall took place today. An expert panel is now gathering feedback on how nuclear power could be integrated into Alberta's energy mix before it submits a report to the government. The next town halls are scheduled for Wednesday and January 16th. Northback CEO Mike Young discussed the proposed Grassy Mountain coal project during a Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce event today. While business leaders gathered inside, outside protesters gathered calling for the controversial project to be scrapped. With more, here's Quinn Keenan.
About 100 people showed up to protest against the Grassy Mountain coal project outside of a Chamber of Commerce event. The proposed open-pit mine in the Crow's Nest Pass has received pushback over potential water contamination, among other issues.
We're fed up with having to express opposition to the Grassy Mountain mine. It was first proposed in 2013. It went through a federal provincial review, and it was rejected.
Inside the Coast Hotel, local business and political leaders heard a presentation from the CEO of Northback, the company behind the project. Media were not allowed to attend, but the chamber said the presentation stemmed from a desire to learn more about the project.
When we had a local member ask if we could do that, we thought, okay, there's interest in learning more and understanding this. So that's why we decided to open it up to our members, but also to non-members, just so we could hear all sides of the voice.
Coal advocates in attendance said these events allow the industry to answer questions and receive feedback. Rena Blacklaws is the former spokesperson for Northback and is now with the Coal Association of Canada.
I was here just to listen and learn to what some of the questions were, what some of the concerns were that are surrounding this project. This is an important project for Alberta and an opportunity to look at the plans and have the Alberta Energy Regulator digest it.
Still, others at the event said Northback was being evasive in answering several questions. In particular, the company directed questions about selenium contamination to the Alberta Energy Regulator.
I felt that they fell short. This was an opportunity to answer some very basic questions, and I thought they weren't being honest.
Northback CEO Mike Young would not speak with the media. Instead, a company statement said, "We appreciate the Chamber's invitation for Northback to provide an overview of the revised Grassy Mountain project. If approved, the revised Grassy Mountain mine plan will provide hundreds of direct and indirect jobs both during mine construction and operation." Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Meantime, Corb Lund's petition asking for new coal mining to be prohibited in the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains has been approved. The legislative proposal was given the green light today. The country singer has a week to appoint a chief financial officer. Following that, Elections Alberta will post the requirements for a successful petition. Lund is expecting to have 4 months to collect 177,000 signatures, but says he would like to get an overwhelming response to send a clear message to the province. Emerging entrepreneurs in Ogden were given the opportunity to make their dream a reality at a unique event tonight. Bravely Connected offers microgrants to community projects and held its first ever pitch night. Residents with a business idea made their case to local judges to receive feedback, mentorship, and potential funding for their concept. The idea is to help people who lack traditional resources launch their business, but in the long term, the event also hopes to help economic development in the community.
It brings the community together. It reminds us that no one gets ahead without one another. Reminds us that it's not no one has to journey alone. They can journey together.
Around $5,000 was divided among tonight's 7 winners. The money was raised through a GoFundMe campaign. Calgary City Council are going toe-to-toe for a good cause. Mayor Jeremy Farkas and members of council were begging potatoes at the food bank this morning. It's all part of the 37th annual Mayor Christmas Food Drive. Council is challenged to see who can raise the most food and funds for the food bank throughout December. The food bank helps 800 households every day.
So a good reminder that we need to step up, not just during the holidays, not just during Christmas, but every single day of the week, every single week of the year, every single month, because the need doesn't go away just after the holidays finish.
Today's winner was Ward 6 Councillor John Pantazopoulos, who unseated 3-time champion Raj Dhaliwal. Well, congratulations to him. A good cause there. Well, there is a chance to see the Northern Lights overnight if the weather cooperates. So head outside and take a look if you can see. But you'll want to bundle up. A bit of a cool, calm evening. Danielle is back after the break with her Skywatch forecast. Stay with us. Well, depending where you are, you might get a chance of catching the Northern Lights overnight, at least in Calgary if the clouds stay away. Alberta Aurora chasers say that's thanks to a strong solar flare that was facing Earth on Saturday. Now, this is expected to go into the early hours tomorrow morning, and if strong enough, the full sky aurora could even last until tomorrow night.
All right, well, mild now, quiet now in the city. Things are going to change tomorrow, and I want to make sure you're prepared for all of it. 7 degrees was the high in our city. Yeah, it was a mild one. Check out all the cooler air, though, off to the east of us. Saskatoon got to a high of -10. Even north of us, Edmonton's high was just -7. Same as Regina, minus double digits and through Winnipeg, Thunder Bay, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City. Yeah, we will get there. We're going to have daytime highs in the -teens and overnight lows in the -20s later this week. That's one thing we have to prepare for. The other thing is throughout these next 12 to 24 hours in the city, but also and especially outside and around the city. All right, the key thing to mention is that the gusts will continue and likely intensify tonight and through tomorrow. So gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour possible in Kananaskis and up. As well, we're looking at gusts 100 kilometers per hour possible in the Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass area over to Fort Macleod as well. Not quite Lethbridge. Out To the east, 90-kilometer-per-hour gusts possible south of Medicine Hat. And there's a winter storm warning in place for pretty much every community east of the QE2 and Highway 2. And this is because we're looking at mixed precipitation possible in the morning, and while it will be isolated and few and far between, we are looking at a lot of melting happening right now because temperatures are mild. When you add the freezing that's going to happen quickly as temperatures drop throughout the day tomorrow, all of that melting is going to freeze out there, and we're looking at a lot of icy patches on the sidewalks and the roads. That's one key thing. All right, let's look at the system and what's on the way. So ahead of this, we're getting the wind gusts absolutely gusty south of the city. For example, Pincher Creek already had a gust closer to 90 kilometers per hour. And again, in the far south, we're going to enhance those wind speeds as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning. Then this rolls in. We're looking at consistent snowfall overnight and through tomorrow in the mountains, which is why totals could be so high. Tomorrow morning, we're also looking at that mixed precipitation, and then in the afternoon, things should clear out. But we're also looking at temperatures dropping fast as things clear out. -2 is our high in the city for tomorrow. Again, that's in the morning. By the afternoon, we're lucky to be at -5, and with the wind chill, we'll be in the -teens. Gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour in the city, especially in the afternoon, but also possible in the morning. And again, a lot of freezing happening out there tomorrow with all that's been melting today and tonight. Then by Wednesday, we bump up to 2 degrees, but Wednesday night, 1 to 3 centimeters of snow. And by Thursday and Friday, our daytime highs, -16 and -18. More snow added to that, and overnight lows in the -20s.
All right, thanks, Danielle. And with the forecast like that, summer may feel like it's a long way off, but today Spruce Meadows announced another act for its summer concert series. Jimmy Eat World will play at Spruce Meadows on July 3rd. For the second year in a row, the equestrian facility will stage concerts on the same weekend as show jumping events in June and July. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. And that will now be an earworm. Well, the Calgary Flames look to make it 3 in a row on home ice tonight. Highlights from their battle against the Buffalo Sabres is next.
Elliott can't get the puck out. Molgachev on the pass from Macbeth. Side of the net, Moore in front, shot, score!
Ethan Moore's goal for the Calgary Hitmen triggered the annual teddy bear toss on Sunday. Fans threw thousands of stuffed animals onto the ice at the Saddle Dome. The bears are being distributed to more than 60 local agencies for the holiday season. And the Calgary Flames hosted the Buffalo Sabres down at the Dome tonight.
Over top of the net, Uyghur's blast, tipped in front, Sharon Miller scores.
Well, the Flames led the way in the first period with 2 goals. The Sabres get their first past Dustin Wolf and the second during a power play. Jonathan Huberdeau, though, returns the favor a few minutes later to make it 3-1 Flames. The Flames go on to secure 2 more goals in the second period. And, of course, that goes back and forth throughout the game, ending up with the final 7-4 for the Flames. Up next, the Flames are going to host the Detroit Red Wings on Wednesday night. And Wolf, our goalie, even got into a fight tonight. So what a game down at the Dome. Thank you so much for watching. That's all our time. We'll see you back here tomorrow.